My name is Jason, and I'm a channeler, and I'm here today to talk about the new Pope and pre-creation. So nice to meet you, nice to see you again. On this channel, we try to give hope. I did a year of a daily dose of hope, and today this is just sporadic doses of hope. So what I'd like to talk about, well, first, before I go into anything, I just want to share my site. So this is my site, and I offer spiritual guidance here if you're interested, so channeling sessions. And here you'll find that there's 3 different types if you're interested, and they're all listed here, and the link is below. There's testimonials below that as well. And these are my offerings. You can click on the blue button, and I have a mug, and I have our membership site. And that's we meet twice a month, and I do a live Q&A channeling. And in addition to that, you have access to a sound bath each month. And here are the books that I've written, and here are some classes that I have. So that's that. And then in addition to the membership, you also get access to all the archives. So here's you get access to this part, and this has all the archives. So 50 plus hours of channeled material with the video and the transcript, in addition to all of the sound baths. So about 30 or so sound baths. So if you're interested, please check below. I'm trying to keep this under a minute. All right, so my commercial's over. So now this is the yin and yang symbol, and this is the symbol that accurately describes our world. And if you notice that there are 2 sides, and they're both very polarized, especially now, they're very polarized. And the way that you know that everything is polarized is that you can say a certain word or a certain group of words, and people will lose their stuff. That's how you know things are polarized. And growing up for myself in the late 80s, or yeah, most of the 80s, growing up, in that time, we didn't really have all of these trigger words where people would lose their stuff. I mean, it was not as polarized. You'd have to push a lot further in order to get people to be so angry. But now we're in a place where it's just a few words and just people turn into a completely different person. And that's polarization for you. But that's good. That's what we're here. That's a wonderful thing, because what the polarization does is it's just untenable. It can't last very long. It doesn't feel good. And so what it does is it pushes us slowly into the neutral path, which is this path right in between the yin and the yang. And that's what we're trying to go. Some people will try to go into, for example, this part here, or this part here, or here, or here, thinking and assuming that they can escape the world that way. But the only way out of here, the only way out of this paradigm, is the neutral path. To be able to walk down that path, see everything playing out as it is, and let it be what it needs to be, not to jump into judgment or fear or anger or worry or regret. See it as a movie. It's playing out. It has to play out. You don't really know what it's for. Just like the Course in Miracles says, I don't know what anything is for, but everything is for my own good. So that is, yeah, that's what this symbolizes. So now, I'm going to talk about 2 things today. I'm going to talk about pre-creation and the new Pope. I thought I would try something new and channel about the new Pope. I thought it might be interesting to channel on current affairs and to see, keep my guides on their toes. But first of all, let me talk about pre-creation. So this morning in my meditation, I met this woman, but I have to say that I am not this great of an artist. In fact, this is what I drew. This is my sketch of what I saw in my morning meditation. This woman, Akita, who did this amazing dance. But I thought, I wonder if I could ask technology to kind of spruce it up a bit. And this is what they did. And I definitely prefer this one to mine. I think if I spent a few hours on it, I might be able to come just a little bit, maybe closer to this, but I'm not sure. So I was helped by technology with this picture here. But this is an accurate representation of her, except for the fact that her clothes were actually made more of, the bottom part was more kind of made out of bamboo, kind of thin strips of bamboo. And so this woman, Akita, she exists outside of outside of time, of course, and not of course, but outside of emotions and outside of thoughts. So before thought and before emotion. So she's in the place of pre-creation, and she came in and she did this amazing dance. And then I started dancing. She was kind of dancing through me, and she was teaching me how creation works. So we always assume that, for example, that we have an idea and we have an inspiration, right? So that's where it comes from, right? We get the inspiration, and then we get that we think about it, we create it in our mind, and then we use our emotional body to make it to take form, and then it comes into something physical, and then we might use our hands to make something. The physical reality is just the final product, and by the time it becomes physical reality, we're already somewhere else. And so that's what pre-creation is about. And so pre-creation, I guess I just thought about it's inspiration. It's the place of inspiration. So if you really want to make a change in the world, the way to make that change is in the realm of pre-creation. So you can make change with thoughts. You can help people to maybe change their mind. But have you noticed that it's almost impossible to make someone change their mind, because people have their own minds. And why would they want to change their mind? And why would they? What would be the point of that? So, but what pre-creation does is you set up with this dance, you kind of dance in that realm before matter, before thought, before emotion. And you set up, for example, if you want to create peace in the world, you dance an energy of peace in the pre-creation realm. And then all of us around will be drawing down inspirations of peace, and then we will use our thoughts to create our own version of that peace. And so this is the realm that she works in. And then this is, if you truly want to work with manifestation, this is the key to manifestation. And so I thought I wanted to share that today. And I think I'll be given more information, hopefully, about how to practically use this. But it is a dance, and you dance, for example, the idea, for example, it's not a thing. You're like, I want to manifest this thing, like a car, a computer, a job. It's more about manifesting a vibration. And so like manifesting the vibration of love. And so through manifesting the vibration of love, then whatever it is that you'd like to create, it comes easily through that. And so you'll be downloading that. And so you're putting more love. It's a light working kind of thing. And so that's generally what this is about. So this is Akita, and I was thinking when I saw her, and I saw what she was doing, because she was using her staff and she was using it to kind of stir things up. She was stirring up creation. She was stirring up creation, and then she would kind of shoot energy with it as well. And she wouldn't talk to me. There were no words, and I guess that's the whole point. It's beyond the realm of words. The words are more, for us down here, but in the pre-creation idea, it's just the dance. And I think that was the point. She shushed me. She's, no words. It's just a dance. And that's what I wrote up here. No words, just an amazing dance. So, but I was thinking about this. So here is the Japanese creation myth, the Japanese Shinto creation myth. Here's a better picture. Izanagi and Izanami. This is the Shinto creation myth in Japan. I live in Japan, if you haven't noticed. People make fun of me because, what do you live in, like an old Japanese inn? And it's just, I'm not like super Japanophile or anything. It's just that these things were readily available. And I just, made it look a little better. So yeah, I guess that says something about me. So this is Izanagi and Izanami. They were the last of the generation of gods, and they were the ones that created, according to the creation myth, they created Japan. And what they did was they stirred up the ocean, and they stirred up these clouds with their staff in order to create Japan. And I thought it was very similar to her, to Akita. So this might be a similar story of pre-creation. Yeah, so interesting information. And I recommend, if you're interested in checking out, it's all of the creation myths. If you look throughout all of the different histories, they all kind of are similar. So here's a site called ancientorigins.net, and you can read about it here. It all comes from what's called the Kojiki. The Kojiki is it's the oldest book in Japan, and it's actually not that old, which is interesting. But it tells the history of the gods and how the universe began. So I just wanted to share that about pre-creation. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about, let's see, the new Pope. Let's get a picture of him up. Do you have a picture? Here he is. Mr. Provost. First American Pope that I know of, that I've heard of. Before I go into this, though, so he is, I think, originally from Chicago, and he is, the new Pope. Just became, and I was on the plane a few weeks ago. It was really interesting. I was on the plane in February, and I remember that was when that movie, or that was when the movie was playing on the plane. The movie Conclave, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it was playing on the plane, and I kind of started it, but I couldn't really get into it. But I thought it was really interesting that they were talking about that, even, and that at that time the Pope was still alive, and it's just like, well, this is, if I were the Pope, I wouldn't be very happy about this. Like, hey, come on, guys, I'm still here. What's up? Now, there are many different theories about this, of course, and so I'm not going to go into all of the different theories. I'm just going to try to keep this as just with the guidance information, because I've read a lot, and I've gone down many different rabbit holes with all this. But for me, I'm just curious what the guides would have to say about this new Pope, and so I'm just going to go into a channeling and see what they have to say. So here we go. Hold on, let me turn this down. Okay. Greetings, we are Raphael. We are here. We are that one that you know of as Archangel Raphael, but you don't have to call us any of those things. You can call us Ralph if you'd like. And we'd like to come through, yes, to answer this being's question about the new Pope. And so, first of all, what we would say to all of you is that many of you focus so much on the outside world. For example, this being is one being among billions of beings on your planet. There are billions of beings that are doing billions of things every single second of every day. They're doing miraculous things, and some of them are doing things that are less than miraculous. But they are all doing something at this moment, and they are all standing in their power or not at this moment. And this is something that we'd like to remind all of you, that you tend to focus your attention on one thing that is presented to you. For example, let's take this. This is a focal point. This story that you're watching, the story of the new Pope. This is a focal point, and you will notice that people from all over the world are focused on this. And whether they are devout Catholics or whether they are disbelievers in anything, they are all focused on this as a grand event, as an event that represents something very powerful. But what we would say to you about this is that you represent something that is very powerful. You, standing in your power, represent something more powerful than any of the stories that you see within your mass communications. What we'd like you to understand about mass communications is that sometimes the story is not really geared towards you. It's not really geared towards anyone, for that matter. Sometimes the story is just a story. For example, here is a story. Here is this man, a man that is standing in front of many, and he will begin to represent many. But you are also a man or a woman standing in your power, representing yourself, representing your family, representing who you are, representing your DNA and your star seed, and here on a very, very serious mission to save the world. And this is what we'd like all of you to understand, that when you start to focus on these focal points, you stop focusing on who you are and focusing on your mission. All of you have very, very important missions on this planet, and your missions are so important. There are planets of beings that are relying on you to complete your mission. They are relying on you to move through this world with love. And Source, even Source itself, is relying on you to complete itself as love here. And so when you see these beings in the mass media, send them love and move along. This is what we would say to all of you. Send them love, because you are all love. You are all made of love, and sending love will help everything. Understand that love is the key. Love is what takes down. Love is what shatters the walls down. Love is what tears those walls of pain, of sadness apart. And that's what we'd say to all of you. Send love, send love, send love. Send love to all of the stories that you see in the mass media, because that love is sorely needed in all of these stories, and that is our message for you. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. That's the take that I thought that they would have anyway. Just kind of curious to see. And Kathy say hello, Jason, and hello, Ralph. So I thought it'd just be interesting to start channeling maybe things that are within the mass media, the mass that's happening at this moment. And but I assume that the guys will pretty much say the same thing, like, don't focus on that, focus on yourself. But yeah, I'll just see what they say, just to keep them on their toes. And so Kathy, thanks for joining in. And it was good to see you last night at the membership thing. And so I guess that's all I have to say for today. There isn't really anything else. No, that was fun. Kathy, send love and mind our own business. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's such a wonderful message. It's like, we've got our own stuff to work on. This man has his own stuff to work on, and that's his mission. He's doing his mission. He's out there, he's the Pope, and so we gotta focus a little bit on our mission. Send love, Hey, love is good. Send love and mind our own business. That would make a good t-shirt. So anyway, thank you guys for listening in. I hope you guys are hopeful, and hopefully I'll see you soon. And as they say, go beach. Woohoo. All right, ciao for now.